Arshid Mehboob from Allama Iqbal Open University. Okay, we have him here. So his topic is Development of Skills at Pre-Operational Stage, a comparative study on cognitive development of urban and rural school children.
The title of this research is Development of Skills at Pre-Operational Stage, a comparative study on cognitive development of urban and rural children. We all know that growth and development play a vital role, and cognitive development determine the success of future regarding students and when they become adults. This is abstract, and abstract is in my given in the abstract book. So I will move towards problem statement. Why this research? We know that cognitive development is taking place everywhere, at homes and at school, between children of age between 4 to 5 years. But this development is uneven. Uneven means on the basis of trainings of the teachers, on the basis of resources, and on the basis of the curriculum implementation, this cognitive development is uneven. A number of factors are involved, which I have told you. But from where to start? There were only 2 or 3 studies regarding comparison of rural or urban girls and boys. But I started this research to find out the levels of cognitive development among children of various areas. Various areas mean geographical areas. So development of skill at pre-operational stage was under study. Constructs were derived from review of literature, and those constructs were used as assessment regarding the development of cognitive skills at the age of 4 to 5. Basically, the range of this age is 2 to 7 year pre-operational stage. Sensory motor stage from 0 to 2 years and after that. But why 4 to 5 years? Because the sample was easily available, and in class prep student in Islamabad, the criteria for admission in prep class remains between 4 to 5 years. That's why this was selected. So cognitive development, what is cognitive development? Cognitive development is how humans acquire, organize, and learn to use knowledge. Language development is another cognitive development skill. In language development, children can express and communicate whatever they observe. They can tell about different places, their likings and dislikings. Further is self-centeredness, thinking only of oneself, without regard for the feelings or desires of others, is known as self-centered. Another key skill, cognitive skill, is egocentrism. The idea behind egocentrism is that the kids keep themselves as the center. They believe that everything happens to them and for them. This makes them incapable of comprehending and admitting a different point of view from their own point of view. Piaget demonstrated that lack of conservation in the pre-operational stage of development was universal regardless of the quantities tested or measurement that is undertaken. Locus of control is another skill. This is the extent to which people believe they have power over the things that happen in their lives. And another cognitive skill, that how they make buildings with the help of blocks. This was also crucial stage. And abstract drawing or coloring different pictures is also another cognitive skill. 5 objectives were formulated for this study. First is to find out cognitive skills of urban students of 4 to 5 years of age, and then to find out the cognitive skills of rural students of 4 to 5 years of age. Then to compare the students' cognitive development of urban and rural students on those constructs which already have been discussed in review of literature section. Then to explore the factors responsible for differentiated cognitive development or uneven cognitive development. To explore the activities for the cognitive skill development at pre-operational development other than which were proposed by Piaget. Research questions are based on the research questions. Descriptive research design was used. All children 4 to 5 years studying in Islamabad capital territory were the population. 25 children were taken from 5 schools from urban 2 area, which is city area of Islamabad, and 25 students, 5 from each school in Nilor sector, which is rural area of the Islamabad, were taken as sample. Apart from this, 2 teachers who were teaching to these students, to these children, were taken for interview to see whether what do they know about cognitive development in pre-operational stage of the Piaget. These are the constructs which were used to compare the cognitive development of rural and urban school children. Language development. What was done for language development? There were some questions during the activities which were asked from the students. They were naming the things about environment, about their families, and whether they could describe themselves with respect to body parts and other features. Egocentrism. I provided 2 chocolates to each student and asked whether they will eat themselves or they will share with others. Then we will move towards findings, and there are different findings about different things. Another egocentrism activity was building with blocks. I have a huge bundle of blocks, 3 to 4 packets, and I give those students. There were some students, when another student pick the block, they say, "Sir, this is mine, please, ye mujhe de dein, ye mujhe de dein." So in this way, egocentrism of the students were also measured. Then understanding environment. There were charts which contain different environments, good environment, clean environment, bad environment, or smoky environment, and they have to identify. Further, there were some questions which were raised during this activity about the liking and disliking of the environment. Then is centration. For centration, I have a picture of cat, black cat, which was standing somewhere else. Now, it is also very interesting to take the responses of the students. There were some students who focused that this is only cat. They didn't respond in other, but there were some students who responded different, that its color is that, she eats this thing, that thing. So locus of control. I have given very less focus on this locus of control because only 2 or 3 points are there. Conservation. Conservation, I took 3 glasses, transparent glass the. One was long glass and other 2 were of the same height and volume. उनमें बराबर ग्लास में पानी डालता और बच्चों से पूछता कि किस में पानी ज़्यादा है, तो होपफुली वो इस पॉइंट पे पहुंच जाते, they reach at the point that the volume is same. I, in front of those students, pour the water in another glass which was elongated, and again when I asked which container contains more water? So they answered differently. This means at the age of 4 to 5, the concept of conservation or the skill of conservation was less likely developed among those students. Then coloring, I have a flower, and that flower was contain also pedicel and stem. And I saw that there were skills which were highly developed among some students, and then building the blocks. I am going towards data analysis. There, I analyzed the data in 3 levels because there were different students who showed different cognitive abilities at different times. So the student who have got highly developed skill, I noted that placed them in alpha, and then there were the students who answered 2 or 3 out of 4 or 5, I placed in beta and then gamma. And compare on the basis of percentages. In rural, in urban 2 area, there were 80% students out of, this is out of 25. 80% students who have got the language development, but there were 20% students in rural areas who have got the skill of language development. Next is comparison of urban 2 and rural children on egocentrism. Very, you can say, less than 40% in both groups showed egocentrism. Rather, most of the students told me that, sir, I will share this chocolate with my sister, with my brother, with my friend, and after that I observed that whether they share the same thing as they are saying, as they are depicting to other students, so they shared with other fellows. And I asked the parents also what was their responses. 48% were not egocentric, and 40% from rural area was not egocentric. Comparison of urban 2 and rural children on understanding environment. It was found that 68% children have more developed cognitive skills regarding their environment, but in rural areas, it was less likely. Comparison of urban 2 and rural 2 children on centration. Centration, for this, I have already mentioned that I gave them a picture of a cat. So, in the urban 2 area school, children, they told many things, diversified things regarding about the cat features. So, there were less students in urban areas, rural areas, who told about this feature. Then locus of control. It is also less than 50% throughout urban and rural children. Conservation. This is about 3 glasses. So there were 52% children who demonstrated this skill, and 44% children in rural areas who demonstrated this skill. Then in coloring, there were 64 students in city school, urban 2 area, and 40% in rural areas. So this was data analysis. It was found that I think that I have described many things regarding findings. There are 2 or 3 things which are related to interviews from the teachers. And why I interviewed the teacher, I only wish to compare whether what teachers say, they are reflected by the students. Are those skills developing among the students? It was amazing that there were 3 cognitive skills which differentiated from the talk of the teacher, findings of the interviews of the teacher with the actual performance of the students. And they were locus of control, second was conservation, and third was building the blocks. Another very important and interesting thing which I encountered in rural areas, that student insisted me that, sir, will you come tomorrow to teach us with these things like blocks and those picturing materials, pencils and ball pens. Thank you very much.